Okay, going to be quick with this. Everyone knew it was coming. It finally happened in the ACC this past week. Florida State and Clemson settled their lawsuits with the league, trying to get out of there. But the league agreed to an uneven revenue split. And the interesting thing here is it's being done by the teams with the highest TV ratings are going to get a bigger share of the league's TV money. So now that one league has gone there, how long is it going to be before Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State look for a bigger share and say, why are we giving this to Rutgers and Maryland and Minnesota and Indiana? Well, although Indiana had a good year, but you know what I'm saying. How long before the SEC teams, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, sit there and say, why are we giving Vandy an equal share in this? Why is Kentucky getting the same amount of money? Let me show you the average number of viewers for SEC teams last year. All right, so the numbers there are in millions of viewers per game. Georgia, 5.97 million viewers per game was what they had on average. That is number one in the nation. Alabama was number two in the nation. Texas, 4 in the nation. You see there. But kind of look on the left and kind of look on the right. So you can actually kind of cut it off there at 3 million. So you can see those top 7 schools, Alabama, Georgia, Texas, Florida, Tennessee, LSU, Texas A&M. Oklahoma would probably try it too. I think Auburn would say, well, we just had a down year. But you know they're going to look at that at some point and say, why is Florida State and Clemson getting a bigger share of their cash and we're not? Vanderbilt's getting an average of 420,000 people to watch their games. I'm Alabama. I'm getting 5.4 million. Why are they making the same money I am? And don't tell me that they beat me this year. I don't care. So is that coming to the SEC at some point, or is it too much of a, by golly, we love each other and we're pals, and we're not going to do it?
That's the precursor to death of your conference. And so I don't think it will happen. I think what will happen is those 7 schools that don't bring anything to the table will just be gone. And you'll see the super conference happen at some point. Along with that ACC story, we saw the buyout drop to $75 million by 2030, which means there's an expiration date on the ACC. It will be the carton of milk in your fridge that you don't want to smell. And it'll end. And so I think what will happen is by the time we get to 2030, instead of the SEC having to give more money to Alabama, Mississippi State and Missouri just won't be in the same conference that Alabama and Tennessee are.
I don't think they're going to go the way of the ACC because I don't think there are any SEC teams that are trying to get out of the league. They're trying to get in. You got Texas and Oklahoma that just came in. So if you had a play of 2 teams saying, we're out of here unless you do this, I don't think that the league is going to go in that direction.
Well, I just wonder if the paradigm is the big boys say, we will leave unless you give us more money, or we'll boot you out unless you take less money.
Well, I'll go back to a point you made. Texas. They're always the team that's the bad conference member.
That's right.
Maybe they're the team that eventually rocks the boat. Maybe it's 10 years from now, but yeah, I could maybe see that. But yeah, Alabama, Georgia, to the point, nobody's looking to leave the SEC, so I think the SEC's in a better position. The Big Ten's the one I would wonder about. 5 or 6 schools carrying a lot of weight there. I can see that.
2030, the Big Ten Conference television contract ends. 2030, the ACC's
now has a buyout
goes down to just $75 million, which is less than when you're a Big Ten television revenue.
So is that when North Carolina...
I think that's when the expiration date happens on the current conference situation that we see in conference football, and we'll go to the super conference then.
This is why the SEC does need Greg Sankey or whoever to be strong as a leader, because you've got tradition, you've actually got a geographic map that makes sense. You need to keep it that way and keep college football or keep college sports making some sense.
Very good. When we come back, the baseball Vols keep rolling along. The Lady Vols stumbling into the tournament. We'll talk about both as we wind down the show here on the Sports Source. Come on back.